Hello, first graders. Welcome to our new science lesson. Please get Be a Scientist notebook ready and let's start. We're going to start a new lesson, Seasonal Patterns, page 242. Daylight hours. Which friend had the best ideas about hours of daylight? So we have 4 friends and each one have an idea. And one of them got the best idea. So let's listen to the friends that they have different ideas about hours of daylight. Jason said, I think daylight is longest in the spring. Vicky said, I think daylight is longest in the summer. So we're looking about the hours of daylight. One of the friends said, in the spring is the longest. Second friend, Vicky, said, in summer is the longest daylight. Matt said, I think daylight is longest in fall. And then Carmen said, I think daylight is longest in winter. So we have 4 seasons. We have spring, summer, fall, and winter. And we have 4 friends that they thinking, each one have different ideas about the daylight hours longest in which summer or which season. So we have the daytime. We know the daytime is the time between when the sun rises to the sunset. This is the time we're looking for. So Jason said this time the daylight is longest in spring. Vicky said the daylight is longest in summer. Matt said, I think daylight is longest in fall. And Carmen said, I think daylight is longest in winter. So these are the 4 seasons. And we're looking for the daylight longest in which season. So which one do we agree with? Jason, that chose daylight is longest in spring, or Vicky, the one who said daylight is longest in summer, or Matt, the one who said that longest daylight longest in fall, or Carmen, the friend that he said that daylight is longest in the winter. So which one do we agree with? Well, if we agree with Vicky that the daylight is longest in the summer, we're right. So let's hear. We agree with Vicky. What Vicky said, that the daylight is longest in the summer. We need to do this explanation. Why? Because let's write an explanation. Because in the summer, what happened? The sun appears to make longer and to be longer and higher across the sky. So it spends more time, and that's when we have longer hours and a daylight. So let's say that Vicky is right when she said, I think daylight is longest in the summer, so we can either circle or put her name. And why? Because in the summer, the sun appears to make a longer and higher, to be longer and higher across the sky. All right. Arc across the sky. All right, so we agree with Vicky. All right, let's see the next page. All right, look at the video of the trees. What happens to the leaves on the trees? What question do you have? So we're gonna watch a video, then we need to come up with a question related to this video. All right, so let's watch. There's no sound for this video, so just let's watch it. Remember, we need to look for questions about the leaves on the trees and what question do you have. Could be related to, I'll play it one more time. Could be related to the colors or why it's falling. So what do you have in mind? Or what question could you come up with? let's go over here. And what happened to the leaves on the trees, and what question do you have in mind? So let's see. We can ask, for example, why are the leaves changing colors? So that's a question related to the color. So why are the leaves changing colors? We can also ask about why are the leaves falling off the trees? That's also a question. Why are the leaves falling off trees? Right. Let's meet a friend here and listen to that short video. Okay, let's meet Hugo.
My name's Hugo. Wow! Did you see and hear that? That scared me a little, but I love thunderstorms and I think it's about to rain. I used a lot of tools to observe and measure the weather, like a thermometer, a rain gauge, and this anemometer. Phew! Anemometer is a hard word to say. I used the anemometer to measure the speed of the wind. These tools help me identify patterns in the weather. These patterns help me predict what the weather will be like. Someday, when I become a meteorologist, that's a person who studies the weather, I'll use these tools and high-tech equipment to study the weather. The weather can change very quickly, and meteorologists help us know what the weather will be like. Looks like I was right. Here comes the rain.
All right. So that was our friend. He wants to study about weather, and that will help to predict how the weather look like. And he showed the tools that it might help him to get the job and also predict or guess what the weather will be like next day. All right. All right. Conduct a simulation to investigate seasonal changes to sunrise, sunset, and weather in different places around the world. Fill in the table and answer the question after you have finished. All right, we're gonna play a fun game now that will help us to understand how the weather will look like in different months and in different parts of the world. So in February in Alaska, what the weather will look like, or August, or how the weather look like in Macapá, Brazil, or in Argentina or in Lebanon. So we're gonna find this out. So let's get the activity and have fun together. All right, so this is the simulation that we're gonna use. We see the temperature here. This is the monthly temperatures, and here the months of the year. So we have from January all the way to December, and this is the Earth or the globe that we're gonna see the places on Earth, which part. And we have east, west. Pay attention to the daylight and the time when we talk about the weather and the month. All right, so let's start. If we start with Buenos Aires, Argentina, this is the spots here, yellow, and we are in the month of July. It's winter and it's 12 a.m. and look at the temperatures. All right, so I'm gonna play it. So as we see, the sun rises from the east and we are in July, it's winter, and then the temperature, it's toward mild, that's above cool and going toward mild. All right, let's see if we go into February. So all the way up, look at the temperature now in February. We're still in Buenos Aires. It's getting hot. And it's summer in February. So let's see. So we can see that the day is long and the weather is hot. And the temperature was hot. Okay, so let's see, for example, Alaska. Look at the temperature. Do you see the thermometer went all the way? Pay attention to the daylight. It's short. We are in February, so look at the snow. And this is Fairbanks, Alaska in the map or in the globe. So the weather is cold. All right. So we're gonna get the page, our page, and that will help us to see. Now we're looking for Fairbanks, Alaska in February. We need to look at the temperature, and we're gonna see Lebanon, and then we're gonna see Macapa, Brazil, and Buenos Aires, Argentina. So we're looking in February. So let's go to our activity. All right, so what we're gonna write? We're gonna write cold for Alaska. Okay, let's see the next one. Lebanon. Okay, was also cold. All right, let's see. Macapa, Brazil was hot all the way up. And then Buenos Aires, hot. So we have it cold in Alaska. Look at the temperature. Cold in Lebanon. Look at the part on the map. And then hot in Brazil. And then hot in Buenos Aires in Argentina. So these are in February. So let's go pause here and write our answer. So over here, we saw in Alaska, the weather was cold. In Lebanon was cold also. In Macapa, Brazil was hot. And then in Argentina was also hot. That was February, right? Let's go for August, and we do the same. Watch and see the weather. So let's go. So this was February. Let's go for August. All right, let's start with Alaska. So we can see the weather in Alaska is mild in August. Let's see in Lebanon, it was hot. Let's see in Macapa, Brazil, was even hot, more hot. In, let's go for Buenos Aires, was mild. So it was mild for Alaska. Then it was hot in Lebanon, and then it was hot in Brazil, and then went back again mild in Argentina, and that's in August. Let's go write this down. So in August, Alaska, where the weather was mild. Lebanon was hot, or between warm and hot, towards hot, but it was between warm and hot. All right, and then Macapa was really hot, and then Buenos Aires went back to mild. All right, I'm gonna play the one more time. It's August. In Alaska is mild. Lebanon, between warm and hot. Macapa, Brazil, was really hot, and Buenos Aires went to mild. All right. Okay. Let's go for next activity, page 245. Do all places around the world have the same weather at the same time of the year? I think you saw that. When it was cold in Alaska, it was mild in Argentina. When it was cold in Lebanon, it was hot in Macapa, Brazil. So the weather is not the same, had the same weather and the same time. So let's write this down. I'm going to say different part of the world So different parts of the world have different weather, and we saw that at the same time. For example, here, let's say we are in February. So in Alaska, look at the weather, was cold. Let's see, in Argentina, it was between warm and hot and going towards hot. So the weather, the same time, same month, February in Argentina was different than it was in Alaska. All right. Number 3, which 2 cities are coldest in August? So we can go back to this activity, what we put down here, look for the month of August, and we need to look for the 2 cities that they were coldest in August. So coldest mean they were not hot. So in August, we had Alaska, right? And it was mild. And then we have Buenos Aires was also mild. We're going to write this down here. So which 2 cities? So we have Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska, and Buenos Aires were the 2 cities that were coldest in August. So all what I did, because I put my information here, this is the data, I'm just looking and see if it's, this is the month of August, and then I'm looking if it's hot or mild or cold. Since I don't have cold, so it's going to be the mild or the hot. So these are the 2 coolest or coldest cities in August. All right, let's go for number 4. Which city had the warmest February? Which city had the warmest February? So we go for up there, and I look for which city had the warmest February. So I have cold, cold, hot, hot. Let me go to my play games here, and I go for February. And let's see, Alaska was cold, Lebanon between cold and cool, Macapa, Brazil was hot, and Buenos Aires was hot. So the question is, which city has the warmest February? We go again here. See, Macapa, Brazil went toward the hot, just one dash and gonna be hot. If I go to Argentina, see, it went down. So Macapa, Brazil was the hottest or the warmest city in February. So let's write this down. So Macapa, Brazil has the warmest weather in February. Right? Okay, let's go for next page. Okay, does Lebanon or Macapa have fewer hours of daylight in November? So we'll go up here. We need to compare between Lebanon, right? And between Macaba. So these are the two cities that we need to see have fewer hours of daylight in November. So let's see, go for November, and then let's play and see the hour. All right. Let's see Macapa, Brazil in November. So we can tell that Lebanon got fewer hours in November, daylight, comparing with Macapa, Brazil. Let's see Macapa, Brazil. Look, even the sun rises all the way up because the day is long. All right, so let's pause. Let's go here and rise. So does Lebanon or Macapa have fewer hours of daylight in November? So we find out that Lebanon has fewer hours of the daylight in November. So we're going to write here, Lebanon has fewer hours of daylight in November. All right. All right. Let's go for question number 6. Watch the sunrise and the sunsets in Buenos Aires during the year. How does the height of the sun in the sky change from January to December? All right, so we need to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to Buenos Aires, and we need to see how during the year, how does the heights of the sun in the sky changes from January to December. So this is January. Let's play. All right, one more time. Okay, let's go all the way. Remember, it's summertime over there. Let's go to December and play. Can you see? Look at, this is December. Look at January. So it's highest in January, right? So let's say this. So we're going to say that the sun appears high in the sky in January. And what happened in December? It appeared a little lower in the sky during December. So we need to do during, all right, let's see, take different months. So this is January. All right, let's go for July. So see, in July, because it's winter in Argentina, look, it's low, the sun. Okay, let's go for January. Okay. Now let's go for December, for example. Look at the sun up there in December. Let's go for July. Let's see the sun. Look at the sun down there. And again, let's go to December. Watch the sun, the height of the sun. See, all the way up, reaching that sentence up there. And let's go to July. See, all the way here, before it was reaching that sentence written up there. So let's say here that the sun appears high in the sky in January or December, and it appears lower in the sky during July. We saw July, right? All right. Let's go one more time. Let's go for May, for example. If we go May, still closer then, because that's autumn. Let's go all the way to January, because that's summer. Look at the sun all the way up. And that's explain why the daylight in summer longer than the nighttime. All right. So this is what we have here. Because also we know that when we agree that different parts of the world have different weather at the same time. So we saw different weather in different places like Alaska over here. In Alaska in February it was cold, but for example, Macapa, Brazil was hot. When we looked in August, Alaska was mild and Macapa was really hot. All right. So that explain for us the season, or also explain why sometimes the weather will be hot in certain parts, but cold in the same time in other parts of the world. All right, that's it for today's lesson, first graders. Thank you. Bye-bye.